Hi there, I'm Paul from Norway, and I'm back in Bergen looking for more things that you can see and do when you come visit. To see as much as possible of Bergen in one day, I really recommend you to rent one of these city bikes. It costs 69 kroner and you get a 24-hour pass. To use the Bergen city bikes, download their app and find bikes all over town. It's an easy and affordable way to see the city, and on top of that, it's fun. On my right here, we have Vågen, the bay, and to the left, you have BRYGGEN, the historical area of Bergen. I parked the bike nearby the BRYGGEN area and walk over to explore this UNESCO World Heritage Site. As you approach BRYGGEN, you'll be greeted by a row of iconic wooden buildings that stand proudly along the waterfront, a symbol of Bergen's rich maritime heritage and the Hanseatic League's influence in the region. The wooden architecture, with its steep gables and overhanging roofs, transports you to a bygone era of trade and seafaring adventures. In many places, the buildings lean towards each other, creating a sense of intimacy and intrigue. Stepping into the cobble streets of BRYGGEN, you'll feel an undeniable sense of history and character. The buildings hold stories from the past, and as you wander through the narrow alleyways, you'll uncover hidden corners and architectural details that speak to the area's rich heritage. There's so much history here, and you can still almost feel the smell of the dry fish, which they used to store in a lot of the buildings here. Definitely a must-see when you come to Bergen. All right, found a Norwegian waffle. It's good. Got good waffles in Bergen. I leave the BRYGGEN area behind, and the goal for the rest of the day is to explore some of the hidden gems and lesser-known sites of Bergen. Behind me here is the Bergen Cathedral, which is a great place to visit. But there's a little detail on the facade, because if you look very closely, you can see that there is a cannonball which is stuck in the stones. This cannonball dates back from 1665, when there was a sea battle between the Dutch and the English, and Norway had sided with the Dutch. Obviously, a lot of cannonballs were fired towards the city, and one of them is still stuck here at the cathedral. I'm standing here by the Leprosy Museum in Bergen, and it's closed now because it's winter, but if you come back in the summer, make sure to pay this place a visit. The Leprosy Museum in Bergen is a humbling and thought-provoking experience, reflecting on the human capacity for resilience and empathy. It pays tribute to the work of Dr. Gerhard Armauer Hansen, one of the most known Norwegian doctors throughout history, who made groundbreaking discoveries related to leprosy. You might recognize this street here from another YouTube video I made, Top 6 Things to Do in Bergen. This street is called Skostredet, the Shoemaker Street. And behind me here, I want to emphasize this place, which is called Hallaisen. This is an ice cream shop where they got some really delicious ice cream. The name is kind of fun because they're playing with words. Hallaisen is a slang in Bergen for saying hi to someone. But isen can also mean ice cream in Norwegian. So behind me here, you have the old Bergen Stock Market building from 1861. It's located just behind the fish market, which is over there. The reason why I mention it is because you can go inside this building and you can see some really beautiful frescoes, which are made by Norwegian artist Aksel Revold, who also made frescoes inside the City Hall in Oslo. Bergen got a lot of good museums, but one museum that is not so well known is this one, the Maritime Museum. It's a little bit hidden, sits up on a hill, but we're actually just a 10-12 minute walk away from the fish market. The Maritime Museum in Bergen offers a diverse range of exhibits and attractions that provide a comprehensive exploration of the city's maritime history. There are historical exhibits showcasing a wide array of historical artifacts and models of Viking ships, great for learning how these outstanding ships were built. Nicely crafted ship models, both large and small, are on display throughout the museum, and also full-sized boats from the Bergen area, showcasing the evolution of maritime craftsmanship over the centuries. One section highlights the emigration from Bergen to the US, and there's also an exhibition about the oil and gas industry off the west coast of Norway. I think this museum is well worth it if you're interested in maritime history. and after a few hours of exploring, it's time for some lunch. So Bergen is all about seafood, but just one block up from the fish market, you could find a really good hot dog kiosk named Trekroneren, the Three Crowns, and they have reindeer hot dogs. Ta en sånn reinsdyrpølse. Ja. On top of the lingonberry jam goes some fried onions, then some mustard, and it's all set. Takk skal du ha. Takk. Looks pretty good. Reindeer hot dog. It's really good. Goes really well with lingonberry. Bergen got a lot of charming streets. Some of them are a bit hidden, but here are three of my favorites. The Kort Pilsmabbe Street is a steep, picturesque and supposedly one of the oldest streets in Bergen, dating back to the Middle Ages. A visit to Kort Pilsmabbe is a chance to step back in time and experience the unique charm of old Bergen. The top of the street ends on an inviting square with many colorful buildings. From here is a short walk to the Knøssesmabbe Street, a narrow cobblestone street with beautiful old wooden houses, probably one of the most photographed streets in Bergen. Take a moment to pause and admire the historic architecture, or find a bench to sit on and soak in the cozy atmosphere while watching the locals walk by. Head back up and find the Ytre Markveien Street. Ytre Markveien is a residential street, and as you walk along, you'll get a sense of that local community's charm and character. It embodies a sense of warmth and coziness that is characteristic of Bergen's close-knit neighborhoods. The street is adorned with trees, flower beds, and green spaces, adding a touch of natural beauty to the surroundings. You can also expect to be greeted by the local cats, some quite friendly and some not so much. This building behind me here is called for USF, and I think for a lot of visitors to Bergen, this is still a bit of a well-kept secret. USF stands for United Sardine Factory. Although there are no sardines anymore in here, this building has been repurposed some years back and is now full of workshops for artists, art galleries. There's a cinematheque as well, there are concert venues. Perhaps my favorite place is the restaurant over on the corner, where you can sit and enjoy a drink and have a beautiful view over the sea. So we took our city bikes and we rode them all the way out to a place here which is called Nordnes. And if you look at the map, this is a peninsula that goes out. And out at the tip here, you'll find the aquarium of Bergen, but you'll also find two other nice things. First of all, there's a wonderful panoramic view over the sea where you can really enjoy the views of the surroundings of Bergen. Another cool thing that you find out here at Nordnes is this Totempel that I have behind me. This was a gift from the city of Seattle, because Bergen and Seattle are sister cities. So when Bergen had its 900 years anniversary as a city, Seattle, they gave this as a gift. And it's still standing here today in the Nordnes Park. So this is a nice spot to visit when you come to Bergen. Well, it's getting pretty late in the day, but we still have one final thing to do, and that is to hike up Stoltzekleiven, the Stoltze hill. I just talked to a guy. He said he used 25 minutes to get up in a fairly fast pace. He looked at how I was dressed and he said, you'll probably use a bit more. So I'm thinking we would use about 40-45 minutes up. We're not really dressed for it, but what's the worst that can happen? Let's go. It says spot open. So he said 17 to 18 minutes, but he looks pretty fit, huh? Oh wow. Stoltzekleiven is a popular hiking trail in Bergen, offering both locals and tourists an exhilarating outdoor experience. The trail begins at Fjellveien, climbing first up a steep road and then approximately 908 stone and wooden steps to reach the summit. Throughout the climb, you're rewarded with stunning panoramic views of Bergen and the sparkling waters of the sea. I think Stoltzekleiven is an ideal destination for those seeking a challenging workout or a thrilling adventure. It's a fairly strenuous hike, but I mean, I'm an averagely trained man, 42 years old with bad shoes, and I think I'm gonna make it. So, you know, just take your time, do it in your own pace, and I'm sure you will get to the top. Woo! It's getting dark. All right, so pretty nice hike so far. My knees are trembling a bit. I'm definitely feeling all these steps. We come to these wooden steps here, and from what I've heard, that means there's about 100 steps left. It's gonna be tough, but luckily we have a secret weapon. Oops, we have some Freia milk chocolate, which will get us all the way. So one for the cameraman. Thank you. And one for me. Ut på tur, aldri sur. Norwegian saying. We made it! It's up here. We made it to the top. This was such a tough hike to do after a long day in Bergen, but coming up here, seeing this view, it is just breathtaking. It was definitely worth it. It's been a long day and it's been really fun to share Bergen with you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Subscribe to my channel for more Norway with Paul. And I also want to say thank you, Tusen takk, to all my Patreons who make it possible for me to make these videos. See you again soon. Ha det bra!